Okay, in this step what we're going to do is we're going to install the steering linkage, which we have here, the two lower and middle shafts. We'll install the control valve, and we'll also install the pillow block bearing. So what you want to do is you want to start by making sure that the rubber boot that the steering rack manufacturer puts on the spline shaft is removed. So we'll just go ahead and pull that off. It's that there, you can discard that. Then what you'll do is take the lower shaft, make sure that the set screw is advanced out enough so that it's not into the splines. So we'll go ahead and advance that out. And if it's tight, it's usually removable by hand, but if not, you can use the adapter that we have here. It's the 5/32 Allen socket adapter, or you can use a 5/32 Allen key to advance it out so that it's beyond the ID of the bearing. So now that that is out of the way, we'll just go ahead and put the nylon lock nut back into position so we don't lose it, but not fully tightened. Slide that over the shaft, and then what we want to do is, when we position this, we want to make sure that the set screw is going to tighten down. Once we tighten it down, once we get the position finalized, that it's going to tighten down into this groove. So you don't want to tighten the set screw onto the spline portion of the shaft. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that the shaft is above this bracket here, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the pillow block there. So we'll go ahead and grab our pillow block with the Allen screws on this side. You can see this side doesn't have any of the Allen screws, and it's a flush mount on the bearing. So we're going to face this towards the back of the car. We'll slide it over the shaft. And then again, what you want to make sure is that the machine portion of the shaft that creates the flat in between the two spline sections is visible, so that you want to make sure that the pillow block bearing is slid down the shaft far enough so that that's exposed. So when we go to take the middle section of the drive shaft here, that it will slide over the spline section of the shaft, and then again the Allen head set screw will tighten down into that groove. But before we put that on, what you'll do is take the carriage bolts, slide those into the bracket with the head of the bolt down, and it will go through the hole here, top here, and then down the bottom here as well. We'll set the pillow block into position, and then tighten them down using the nylon lock nut, flange nylon lock nut. That'll tighten that down. Once you have that, you can then take the middle portion of the shaft, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that the phasing is matched. So the flat here on the U-joint, you want to make sure that the phasing of that is going to match the phasing on the lower shaft. So once you slide that over, come over and make sure that those are matched up before you set down your set screw. So you'll slide that over. And then once you have the phasing correct, what you can do is take the control valve mount clamp. That will mount here. Control valve will mount onto it. You can see there's this machine portion of the control valve that it will slide onto. Sometimes you might have to just loosen that. There we go. So that will slide in there like that, and then through this bracket, you can see this mount here. We'll use the 3/8 bolts here. It's a non-flange head bolt with one of our 3/8 modified washers. And the reason that we have that is because the slots here for the adjustment of the control valve are very close to the weld of this tube here. So what we do is we have the flat cut into the washer so that it will clear the weld, and you'll be able to tighten it down all the way. So you'll put your bolt with the head down, and the red clamp is machined for the thread, so you'll just go ahead and tighten that down, making sure that the flat side lines up with the welded side of the small tube here. And then what we'll do is we'll leave this loose, so just make this hand tight, because once the floor is in and the upper shaft is connected to the steering column, what we'll then have to do is again make sure that the U-joints are all in phase and make sure that they're all lined up. So there might be some adjustment. You can see you got some fore and aft adjustment, and you can also turn the control valve to meet up properly with the shaft coming from the upper steering column.